So, ladies and gentlemen, all together now, Ichi Nissan da for AEW news.
Guys, Tony Khan.
So here's what Eric Bischoff had to say about the AEW audience and the comparisons to that of WCW. And shout out Ariel Helwani and the Ariel Helwani Show. Here is Eric Bischoff talking about WCW versus AEW, which is funny that this is even a conversation in 2025.
When you saw, by the way, that that Dynamite had surpassed Nitro for longest wrestling show on TNT, how did that make you feel?
I just chuckled. It's like a participation trophy. I guess it matters to somebody, but you know, if you took all of the viewing audience that we had over whatever run Nitro had, I think it would take AEW another 15 years to deliver that audience at the rate they're going. So
they're doing pretty well now with the show, the 45,000 or so at the Globe Life Stadium. Was that not? That was a couple weeks ago. All in.
Was it? I don't follow it that much.
Okay.
I heard it was like in the 20,000s.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
Yeah,
Our previous guest just said 45.
But even, I mean, 20,000 that's a big number. I mean, hats off to them for that. I don't want to dismiss that.
Sure.
But 20,000 people in a building and you're charging them money for it, that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Do you think they're doing better? It seems to be the prevailing thought that they've turned the corner, that they're having a great year.
How do you measure a great year? They had one event that did really well.
Yeah.
Their television ratings are flat. They've been losing an average of 15 to 18% of their audience every year for the last 5 or 6 years. Last week, they did like 580,000 viewers on a major cable platform on a Wednesday night prime time. I don't know if that's really doing that well, but you know,
stories, character development.
I don't see it. I mean, I see them trying, you know, and again, I don't watch the product very much at all anymore. I kind of given up on it.
How long ago?
6 months.
That's the thing, right? Like AEW is trying. I pointed out every show, like, hey, they're trying to sports entertainment up, and they're trying to develop characters here. So I get where some of their fans are like, oh, but whatever, like this story and all this, but it's just the old criticism I've also made 1,000 times. Like, yeah, but it's just happening. Like, it doesn't mean it's good. Like, yes, they're trying to do it, but Tony's not good at this. He's never written a story ever in his life. Okay. And if he has, no one's proofread it and gone, this is not good. Here's some notes on this. Here's how you punch this up. Here's how you like, and then even if they did, he doesn't know how to. He's not a creative guy. He doesn't know how to then implement those notes or anything like that. So they're trying, you know, and even Bischoff gives them their due. They're trying, but like realistically, how has Hangman progressed as a character since day one of AEW, right? Like, how's anybody progressed? You know, the Young Bucks have, not in a good way. Moxley's changed a bunch. Maybe you could, it's killed their TV, but maybe you could say, oh, it's compelling how he was Mox and then he turned into like this neo-Nazi guy. Maybe that's like compelling to you. I think it's bad. It's an attempt, right? But like, where has been, like, what are the stories? Like, what are the real stories? There hasn't been a real story that's like that actually has like merit or weight behind it in AEW, in my opinion, since like Hangman and Omega teamed up. Maybe there was a few things after that, but that was like, since Cody Rhodes left, there's really been nothing. Like,
months ago.
Okay.
Story-wise, you know, like to sink your teeth into.
Enough.
I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, they weren't making any good moves. They weren't making any moves creatively that led me to believe that they might be going in the right direction. Just not been a fan of the product or where they're going business-wise. So I just kind of tuned out of it.
Yeah, and someone in chat, Cashman A, says, here's how I look at it. Stephen King has written 1,000 novels, and every single one has had an editor go through it at some point. Yeah, that's what good writers do, man. That's what good writers do. The best art comes from collaboration. It's never going to be exactly what you visioned in your head. This is the exact way it has to be, or else that's never the best thing. I promise you. Because what you're doing is you're eliminating the key factor, how people will perceive this thing. And AEW's approach is, we don't care how people perceive this thing. For the sickos. Okay, then. It's for the sickos. Yeah, it's just something that Tony Khan's got to learn. Right? You're doing TV here. It's not like this hasn't been done before. And wrestling. This is like 100-year-old thing. that Dave tries to pretend is different than what it really is, you know? MJF is at the premiere of Happy Gilmore 2, which he plays Adam Sandler's son. I'm excited for this one.
I'm here with a bunch of Mark fans at Happy Gilmore 2 who just so happen to love MJF. Because I'm better than you, and you know it.
So none of them know who the fuck he is. But I've been to these before, right? You get invited, you're all there. All those people were invited, you know? So they all have Twitter accounts or some sort of influence over movies, but I'm not shitting on him. This is great for him, and I'm glad he's involved in like a mainstream picture with Adam Sandler and, of course, Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. I'm very excited for him. And honestly, MJF, I'm going to start putting it out there. I know a lot of people are sleeping on you, shitting on you. I can't wait till MJF gets to WWE, man. I can't wait. I hope he gets there sooner than later. We tried with Kenny. I don't know. But MJF, get out of your fucking deal, son. Get your ass on over to the Fed already. Here's his message to David LaGreca and Busted Open.
You know, Dave LaGreca, when I was 18 years old, I went on your show for the first time. It was in a broom closet. And now you have your own wrestling channel. And I got to say, I don't know whose wife you have a photo of with having sex with a goat, but be proud of yourself. You've figured out a way to finagle your own channel. You don't deserve it. You're talentless. And if you died tomorrow, nobody would shed a tear. You know,
there you go. Ruthless. It's like a badge of honor to be roasted by MJF there. So Ricochet had this to say. So this Scott Carlson guy says, just me, but if my agent is going on Twitter and saying stuff like this, I'm shopping for new representation ASAP. So again, all these people who could never get an agent, don't even have jobs and shit, and you're talking about if my agent went to fucking bat for you and was a fucking ride or die, was willing to drop so an Ari Gold. So you don't want fucking someone who's willing to go bat for you and fucking go and swing for you. And how do you guys know that behind the scenes Nick LoPiccolo isn't trying to help AEW? You guys don't know that either. You guys have no fucking clue. But Nick LoPiccolo's like, you don't have an agent, line up behind King Ricochet, and tags Ricochet. So then Ricochet goes, for one, I have an agent. And two, even if I didn't, that means I negotiated a great deal with a great company by myself. And three, if my agent was online crying like a pussy, they wouldn't be my agent for much longer. That's just me, though. And then, yeah, this guy's like, I have lesser opinion of his clients because of the way he acts on here. Punk, Mariah, Miro, Jade, all of them condone and approve of his behavior. Then he's like, no one cares. Yeah, I don't know, Ricochet. I don't think that's why you have an agent. That's great. Yeah, I don't know, dude. You guys gotta understand, Nick's like the head of a bunch of shit. So basically what happened was you fucking sickos, by being redacted, unleashed a fucking monster who doesn't care. And that's your bad. Dave and you sickos fucked up and unleashed a monster. Ricochet can sit here and cope over it all he wants. He does have a point, though. That would mean he negotiated a great deal by himself, which is true. That would mean that. However, yeah, I just don't know if, like, adding on to the whole, like, if my agent was on here crying like a pussy, bro, people, like, went after his kids and shit, you know? And so he just said, okay, gloves are off. We're just going after everyone. So, I mean, again, you should check your goofy-ass fan base. That's really what it is. Ricochet, you don't help it either, really, at all. And it's good that he's piping back, but you notice, like, Ricochet is a bully, and I'll explain why. He only punches down at people. Anyone, like, Nick's been challenging him for a minute. He ain't saying shit. Same with Dave. Like, Dave even said it on his message board. They asked him, is Nick LoPiccolo legit? And Dave responded, he is legit, and I was told by others to let it go, and so I'm not going to respond, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because Dave can't, like, bully and send his army after Nick LoPiccolo. They'll have to end up deleting their accounts and shit. Just like how we saw Ricochet back down from Cornette. I'm sure Ricochet would barb at me, but the only thing he ever had to say to me, I called him, and he's like, you follow more followers than you have, loser. That's all he had to say to me. And then when I responded back, he had nothing left to say. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna own this guy, but like, come on, dude, verbally, you guys see my Twitter game, son. Like, I ain't backing down either. So it's just like people like he can't push around is who he goes after, or he doesn't go after really, or doesn't respond to, you know? And so yeah, it's just funny to see like how Nick LoPiccolo's got these motherfuckers on his back foot. on their back feet. At the same time, I will say this. In my opinion, I would have gotten tired out already. Like Nick, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten tired already of fucking going at these sickos and Dave and AEW and shit. Like I'd have been tired of it. I get tired of it. You know, the IWC super a massive bore lately, especially, you know? I don't know, man. Yeah, Ricochet, he can say what he wants. There's levels to like CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, the names that are signed with Paradigm to whatever the fuck Ricochet's signed to, and also like the agents and managers and shit in pro wrestling. It's largely incestuous, like much of the wrestling business is. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone talks. The agents a lot of the time are carny workers because it's the wrestling business. That's why you don't hear about many of them other than like Barry Bloom now and Nick LoPiccolo, like guys who completely remove themselves from that carny shit, totally removed from that shit, and look at what like wrestling and some of these wrestlers can be. Those are the ones you hear about. You don't hear about these other ones who are like, oh, I was a failed wrestler, but I know how the business works. I'll manage some of these guys. It is what it is. Yeah, I would just say stay tuned. Nick has just been dropping bombs, and yeah, people fucked with him and his family. So that's where he's just like, all right, it's time to fucking gloves are off. You know, like now I don't care. I'm just going to roast Stinkashay. Oh, and also, I had said on the show that Darby Allin was signed to Paradigm. That's not accurate. Okay, that is inaccurate. He is not signed to Paradigm. Miro was signed to Paradigm while he was in AEW, but he was trying to get out of there and go to WWE. You guys know what I'm saying? And come back and do Rusev Day. So publicly announced with Paradigm is Punk, Priest, Rusev, Sheamus, Montez Ford, Alexa Bliss, Stratton, Jade Cargill, Natty Neidhart, Blake Monroe. There's some others you guys will hear about. So, and then Miro also. So Google's wrong. I Googled it or I grokked it or whatever. It said Darby Allin and shit. He's not signed. There's no AEW guys signed over there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, Ichi Nissan Da, that was AEW news. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWE. So CM Punk was on Sport Bible with Rhea Ripley, I believe, and he had this to say about working with Triple H, and he still to this day pulls no punches.
I remember when I first came back, talk about people going over their time. I think Randy, there's a little friction here. So I come back and I all over Randy's moment, right? At Survivor Series. Randy's been gone. He's rehabbed. He's got a new spine. He comes back and then here's CM Punk to just step all over it. Then the following week, he's got a match. I think it was with Dom.
Yeah.
And they go over on their time. And it drastically cuts my promo time, and we're all hooting, and I'm just laughing about it. I'm just like, oh, whatever. This is fun. Whatever I don't get to say this week, I'll just say next week. That's the beauty of doing 52 live shows a year. But I remember I was running around with a piece of paper in my hand that had whatever I was supposed to say. And I keep looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and then Triple H gets up and he comes up to me and he goes, What are you doing, man? You're freaking everybody out. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm freaking everybody out? He's like, nobody here has ever seen you hold a script in your hand and read it. Like, you're not just going to go out there and say whatever the hell you want. And I was just like, oh, well, you know, I'm new around here, so I don't want to I don't want to step on anybody's toes, you know what I mean? And he grabbed the piece of paper and he crumpled it up and he threw it out, and he was just like, you're CM Punk. He's like, just go out there and talk to the people. And I was just like, right. And that's what I needed to hear. You know what I mean? Like, because I am trying to move in a certain way, and he's just like, no, you don't got to do that. Just go be you. Like, that's why you're here.
Dude, AEW fucked this guy up, man. He realized, like, holy shit, what the fuck? He went back to WWE and was like, oh, guys, I will read the script. Like, I finally get what you were doing over here. Holy shit. And then that's when they go, throw away the script. And he's like, right, okay, yeah, my bad. You know, there's structure, but I got to still be me. So it just was a wake-up call. It's crazy how AEW woke him up so immensely, and I'm so grateful for it. I am grateful for AEW having Punk return there, because that's what made Punk return to WWE ultimately, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE. it's time for no one's favorite segment, and it is called the Sicko Segment. So BJ Bethel got in the mix with Nick LoPiccolo. He's like, well, Nick LoPiccolo's like the PR hit. Because listen, like Brian Alvarez is burying Mariah May, even though he loved Mariah May when she was in. And we covered this, right? In our Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week before, right? And so, you know, he's just trashing Blake Monroe. And he's like, I don't get it. It's like she idolizes some star from the 60s or something. It makes no sense. Even though in AEW, she idolized a star from the 20s and 30s or whatever. That was literally her gimmick. It's just an extension of that. He's being disingenuous, of course. I think just believe disingenuine. I believe just because he hates WWE, but Nick LoPiccolo floats out a conspiracy, which we can hit in X-Files for, right? He floats out a conspiracy that this PR hit is a part of a coordinated smear campaign targeting me and the former AEW talent now thriving in WWE and represented by Paradigm, including Punk, Cargill. So really think about all the shitty stories and the people who get buried recently as well. So we've seen shitty stories about Jade and Punk and Blake Monroe. Rusev, of course, he gets chalked up as like, oh, he just went to AEW for money and whatever. But the pattern is obvious. The intent is malicious. We see it. We document it. So this is what Nick LoPiccolo had to say. And then BJ Bethel goes, an agent shouldn't be this stupid. And then he blocked Nick like immediately. So again, BJ, is that like your name or like what you do? Oh, so John, time traveling Erisman says, I might have my info wrong, but I recall BJ writing the article that Dave used to make his claims. And BJ said Dave validated his number, which he did. Dave says he doesn't know what BJ is talking about. It gets confusing. Yeah, that's because they're all fucking liars, and that's why they get triggered when someone like Nick says the fucking truth. That's why they get triggered when your boy Phil says the truth.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
It just is what it is. So that happened. And then in TNA sicko news, so I don't know what we call TNA sickos or fourth rope sickos. I mean, he's wearing a Zilla shirt. This guy, didn't he get like canceled by the greater pro wrestling, like all these people who do these like, oh, I'm gonna make fake reactions to the wrestling shows, and then so I think this guy has done this before where he was like crying over AJ Francis. Here's another fake video. This guy deserves to be roasted for this, right? So we played on the last clip, there's a podcast called The Normies, and they react to shit that they don't. What they do is they take people who are normies who like, oh, I know what WWE is, but I don't really follow it. And then they show them that match that we played that clip from, you know, or whatever, right? I don't listen to rap music. And then they have them like watch an Eminem video or whatever the fuck. And people were roasting them. No, we shouldn't be driving people like that away. But disingenuous sickos, like dudes like this, who are clearly like, this is just like mentally disturbing right here. Okay, he's going for an Oscar. So Enzo comes back and look at his reaction.
Promotion, a partner of TNA Wrestling, fourth rope.
And wasn't this guy like being a fucking creep to like a bunch of the IWC girls who like make fucking content, like, you know, some of these ladies who have channels and shit in the IWC? Wasn't he like sending them all creepy DMs and shit? So yeah, and I'm sorry if this is the wrong guy. I wholeheartedly apologize. I'm even throwing that out there. But isn't he? Like I think that's the same guy. So I thought he like dipped out of making content or something. MrTeshk. Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy who was being a creep. MrTeshk or whatever. I'm certain we covered it on the show. Someone get the time machine.
My name is, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
I just don't get why he's crying. Like Enzo does that shit. You can go watch OVW and he does that shit. You know, like why would that be a thing you're crying about? So here's Johnny Bottles, okay, and he gets this crazy message from, well, it's not crazy, but he gets a message from Elayna Black, and then he goes crazy. Ah ha 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 ha. Bro, just write LMAO or LOL or whatever. You know what I'm saying, dude? Fucking, what is just smashing your keyboard like fucking Lex Luthor, dude? Chill, just write LOL. He says, I guess she told me off. WWE gave NXT an enema and you got flushed out. Keep those comments turned off, you little bimbo. Holy man. Before the world piles on. Yeah, Johnny, I don't know, bro. You're I don't know what to no, bro, you're going way too hard on her. Like, what are you talking about? The world, you little bimbo. Like, hey, don't call her that. You don't know her. And like, not in like, you're not even being funny about it. You're just being an ass. The world will pile on you. What is that, a threat to what? 6 sickos? Don't you not like sickos? I thought you didn't like sickos, bro. So now you're like, oh, these yeah, wackos. Let's all go after her because she said I'm a dummy. Like, is that what you're saying? That's stupid. But yeah, what did she say? So I don't know what he said. This is the thing. I don't know where the original crux of this came from, right? Either the OnlyFans page is paying off huge or she's hurt again. No, comments are turned off. Wrestling just wasn't for you, Cora Jade. Yeah, so kind of rude. I mean, I did say the same thing. I was just like, yo, you wackos gave her so much money that she looked at wrestling and not making money on the indies and went, fuck this, right? So it's not entirely off, but he's like, she messaged him and was like, you're an absolute fucking sick and pathetic moron, and I hope you find peace in whatever it is in your you're fucking sick and pathetic, but I do hope you great happiness and wonderful bliss it is in your life that makes you behave this way on the internet. Truly sad and pathetic. Wish. Yeah, I don't know. When people are going through stuff, it's not good. And then to be like, oh, they'll pile on you. Like, bro, no, we're not going to do that because she's clearly going through it. You know, it's pretty fucked. I like to make jokes, guys. I don't attack the wrestlers, right? I might call Ricochet, but hey, we all have different approaches to things. And ladies and gentlemen, that was our sicko segment.